A very good morning, traders. So here we are once again in the morning glory trade. Okay, as you can see over here, at the moment we are on a long position. This is a breakout trade. So what I've done over here, actually, in fact, I must admit, I did miss the open actually. So we have actually reduced our position size over here, and our target potential is also going to be for the range of the bar, which is the main concept of this strategy, as I've mentioned in the webinars and the conferences that we have done. Now, I'm going to put my target over here, which has been calculated already. I will put it at 1.3012, which is where our target, according to our calculations today, has shown to be. I will very be aware of the 130 level as well to see how it reacts. And I've also got target level mechanisms that we should be looking at. So I've got it all marked on this chart over here, where we have done all our research on. So you can see that all these levels over here is what I'll be looking at once it gets into that zone. Okay, you got to be very careful because we're treating this very professionally, very systematically, very methodologically. So therefore, we don't want to just lose our profits away. So we got to be very systematic in a way that in a cumulative manner, it will still give us consistent profits. That's the whole idea, that's the whole concept. All right. Okay, so I'll be monitoring this trade and I'll be updating you all as we go along. Okay, all right, I'll pause the video here and then we will resume it later. All right, traders, as you can see over here, now is the progress of this trade. Okay, so what we can see over here, initially we could see that the trade had progressed to just away 10-15 pips from our target, but however now is retraced and we were really up over about 200 pounds just now, and now we are up to a small loss of minus 24 pounds, and is coming back to breaking even. Now, the most important thing over here, traders, is that in your mind at this moment, it will be like, hang on a minute, shall I hang on to this trade? I don't want to give back the profits I made yesterday. What should I do? Should I just exit it, just take a small loss? You see, several questions will arise in your mind, and that mental chatter, once it gets heavy, we start to act out of emotional impulse. The questions that may come can all be then summarized under the big thought of fear, the fear of losing. This losing can be losing another consecutive trade and adding to your loss cluster. The other could be the fear of losing back your profits. So this one could be add to your losses, or the second part of losing could be losing back your profits. Okay, losing back your profits. So that's where this fear can come from. Now, how do we combat this? And how do we overcome this? How do we sublime this? And we then instill that and trade with conviction. So how do we overcome this? How do we overcome this fear and we trade with conviction? Now, one of the things that we can do, and which we actually talk about in the psychology component in the Traders Basecamp, is the point of sublimation. We need to know how to sublime this fear. Okay, we need to know how to sublime this fear. Now, subliming this fear means not suppressing it. Sublimation can only come out of mental evolution and maturity. Now, let me explain. The best example we usually give at Traders Basecamp is that a child, when we were a child, we play with our toys and Transformers, Barbie dolls for girls, whatever it may be, and we played that, and it was our whole world around that time. But as we grew, we matured out of that, and we saw that as unreal, and naturally, we do not play with them, and we leave them behind, and we move to bigger and better things, which we consider as real. So as you can see, that moving away from playing with those Transformer toys or Barbie dolls was not out of force. It just happened naturally. Mental maturity came about, mental evolution came about, and you just sublimed it and you naturally let go of it. Now that's called sublimation, and sublimation usually happens, as I said, out of mental evolution and intellectual strength. Okay, that's where we need to strengthen our intellect. Intellect can be strengthened through knowledge. Okay, through knowledge. Not only the intellect needs to be strengthened, your emotions need to stabilize as well. Okay, your emotions need to stabilize. Now, knowledge in the trading field, your knowledge in the trading field, which gives you the strength to overcome this fear, and stay according to your plan, to give you the conviction to stay according to your plan, comes from knowing the true edge of your strategy. The true edge of your strategy. We go through the three components. We go through the three components of a strategy edge in the closed door session, actually, in Traders Basecamp. Right, traders. So you can see that the interesting thing what I want to make you wary of in terms of this knowledge, strengthening this knowledge and strengthening intellect, you must know the edge of the strategy. And the thing is, actually, 90% of traders do not really know the edge of the strategy. Even intermediate traders who've been trading for about 5-6 years, when we ask them, because we've coached over 20,000 traders, and we know that when we ask them to define what is an edge, they all start to stumble. They do not know how to define it. Okay, now this is very, very critical, and if you do not know how to define it, how to say why must your strategy continue to work, what is his edge, then you got a problem there, and you must find it, and that can be found through the right questions and through the right breakdown of this word edge, and then finding these statistics to back it up as well. Okay, the next thing is you must keep your emotions in stable. Emotions in stable is basically keeping your mind in the present moment. Mind in the present moment. Okay. No matter how much your intellectual conviction may be in your age, your mind can still play you a fool, because if it's not kept in the present moment, okay, if it's not kept in the present moment, this fear can override all intellect. Okay. So you must be able to hold the mind in the present moment. This requires training, and this is why one of the things as Vedanta traders we usually do meditate in the morning to get the mind in the present moment, so that now it can be then stabilized and rooted in the knowledge of intellectual conviction in our age, and be reminded of our age once again as we take the trade, and keeping our focus on the one most important thing in true of knowledge, which is the risk management. Okay, so remember traders, in summary, what we're saying over here basically is that keep your intellect strong with knowledge, and keep your mind in the present moment. Okay, so with that said, I have reminded myself on that as well. So I will review this trade, keep on holding on to this trade, and keep on focusing on the one most important thing, traders, which is risk management. Okay, all right, so I'll pause the video here and I'll update you all on the progress as we go along. Hello traders, as you can see over here now the trade has resumed, and now we are at 2998. It's crossed above the 30 level, 130 level, and you can see that we are just about 5-7 pips away from our target. Okay, so to be exact, what we have is 3006 over here, and our target is at 3012, and the box is just highlighting up in green. So we'll see how that performs. We've got to be very careful over here, because it's entering into a zone at the moment, which we now have to be aware if it's going to fail that, or if it's going to push forward through and carry on forward. Okay, so we will be monitoring that very closely into the next few minutes. Alright traders, okay, you can see over here right now currently it has crossed the 130 level, as I've just mentioned before, but you can see now there's a bit of a selling going on. This is what we got to closely monitor for your target failure mechanisms to kick in and for you to decide and choose for you to whether you want to stay in the trade or you want to exit the trade at the moment. Okay, my target is at 131.2, 130.07. If it crosses that, then I'll start putting in time level mechanisms in to then exit the trade within a certain time frame, but it hasn't hit any of that levels yet. So now what I'm then looking at to choose between whether I'm going to stay in the trade or going to get out even live is whether this 130 level is going to hold. Okay, at the moment it has crossed zero point 0.7 ATR as well, so I'll be considering that as well into the hour. Okay, so I'll be closely monitoring that, and I'll be updating you all very shortly. Okay, traders, so as you can see over here, we have now exited the trade. Actually over here you can see that we have trailed our stop for 129.63 over here, and it did fail towards the 130 level. It did not surpass that, and because our target was at 1.8, it didn't reach that. Even 5 pips even away from that, it didn't reach that, so we did get out of that trade. Now over here, so what you can see over here, I'll just bring out the account statement. So what you can see here now is basically a very small loss what we've done at 29.63 and 231 pound loss. Now as you can see, the most important thing, traders, is that you must not give up too much of your profits. Have the levels that you want to get out at, make it as tight as possible. Be aware of 131 big numbers, 130 levels in this case. Another thing actually for us to note and for our research team to actually look into is that we're going to do just a bit more research into target setting. Now, target setting is one of the toughest ones that traders actually find. Even professional traders, they keep researching on that, and that is something that we'll continue to do, and also you get better as well over time with practice as well. Okay, so that's something that we will be taking forward as well, between where we position our targets and reviewing and checking our target failure mechanisms to get faster exits to measure momentum. Alright, okay, I guess that's pretty much it from me from this video, and as we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.